Oh, hello. Yeah, it's okay. Everything is okay. Yes. So suddenly there is no sound. I don't hear you.
A little. Yeah, we've muted Yaera. You need to be a little bit louder again.
Okay. Okay.
Have I got to mute? Right.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm sorry. So we will. I welcome each of you. Thank you to be here for Shabbat morning, and it's really nice to have the possibility to share Shabbat every week, even if we are in a lockdown situation. It's not so easy, but we have devices to be together and to make the link. And I know that now you can be connected through Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, and even with Twitter. So make your choice. It's great. And we go to Matovu. It is page 117. 117. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Through your great love, O God, I enter your house. With awe, I worship in your sanctuary. Eternal God, I love the house where your glory dwells. Humbly I worship before my God and Maker. ואני תפילתי לך, אדוני את רצון, אלוהים בחב חסדך, ענני באמת ישעך. We thank you, O God, for this new day, for morning sun and evening star, for flowering of tree and flowering of tide, for life-giving rains and cooling breezes, for the changing seasons, for the cycle of growth and decay, of life and death. We awake and behold a new day. O God, renew us into life. Teach us to recognize your presence in creation. Grateful for your gifts, may we dedicate all our powers to your service. So, and I greet you if there are new people connected, and we turn to page 118, and we start to sing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Bokeh arivrim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Malbish arumim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Matir asurim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Zokef kefufim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. She'asani kol tzorki, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Anoten la'ayef koach, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Amavir shene menai, utenuma me'afapai. So it is what we call the Bichot HaSha'ar, and the cardinal link through these blessings is to express our gratitude to be alive again. And it is also to think on the notion of Tikkun Olam, meaning how we are in capacity to repair some broken things, to adjust unbalanced situation, reach a hand to a friend, a colleague, family member, or simply to ourselves. And we go on page 119 with the coming of day and night. I will enter the covenant of God, and when evening and morning depart, I will recite God decrees. God most high, you are my righteousness. You teach me goodness. You are the fountain of knowledge, the dwelling place of holiness, and the summit of glory. Eternal might and majesty are yours. I will choose whatever you teach me, gladly accepting your judgment. As soon as I move my hand and feet, I will praise your name. When I go out and when I come in, when I lie down and when I rise up, when I rest on my bed, I will sing your praise. And in the company of my friends, I will praise you with the words of my mouth. And we sing together, I hope, the Psalms 92. Mizmor shir leyam HaShabbat, tov leodot l'Adonai, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נווה, עלי היגיון ברינה, כי שמרתני אדוני, בפועלך, ומעשה ידיך חנן, מה גדלו מעשר אדוני מאוד, עמקו מחשבותיך, איש בהר לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין, את זאת, טוב להודות, לאדוני, ולזמר לשמרה עליון. And Tzadik Katamar, Ifrar, we can sing also this part of the Psalms. Do you know this melody? Tzadik Katamar, Ifrar, Tzadik Katamar, Ifrar, Tzadik Katamar, Ifrar, Tzadik Katamar, Ifrar, que eres balvanon isgay, que eres balvanon isgay, que eres balvanon isgay, isgay. Que eres balvanon isgay, que eres balvanon isgay, que eres balvanon isgay, isgay. Shetulim bevet Adonai, shetulim bevet Adonai, shetulim bevet Adonai, shetulim bevet Adonai, beratzot Eloheinu, beratzot Eloheinu, beratzot Eloheinu yafriru, beratzot Eloheinu, beratzot Eloheinu, beratzot Eloheinu yafriru. Od Yenuvun Beseva, Od Yenuvun Beseva, עוד ינובון בשיבה, עוד ינובון בשיבה, צ'נים ברענים יהיו, 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 להוד ינובון בשיבה, עוד ינובון בשיבה, עוד ינובון בשיבה, עוד ינובון בשיבה, צ'נים ברענים יהיו, צ'נים ברענים יהיו, צ'נים ברענים יהיו, להגיד ישר אדוני, להגיד ישר אדוני, להגיד ישר אדוני, להגיד ישר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולתה בו, 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 צורי ולא עוולתה בו. I have a look on the comments. So, and we go on with the Shema and its blessing, page 135. So, and here we start the communal prayer. Bararu, so it is a public invitation to pray before the Shema. Barechu et Adonai Mevorach, Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Vaed. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. We praise the eternal one to whom our praise is due forever. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uborei chosher, oseh shalom uborei et hakol, hameir la'aretz veladachim aleha, בחכמים ובטובו מחדש בכל יום, תמיד מעשה בראשית, מחבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלא הארץ כקנייניך, תתברך אדוני אלוהינו, על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית, יפאחוך סלם. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeochot. We praise you, O God, Creator of light. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trust in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truth of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching, make us faithful to your commandments, and wholehearted in the love of all of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. Baruch atah Adonai, aborer be'amo Israel be'ava. And we are ready to say the Shema. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, ובשכתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וטפתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשכך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established and enduring are these words, now and forever. True it is, eternal one, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God of and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly, you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeem us from the house of bondage. Then, with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. We have page 139. מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נוחה תהילות אוסף אלי, נוחה תהילות אוסף אלי. שיחה חדשה, שיגרו גאולים, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמלרו, ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, גואלנו אדוני הצבאות, שמו קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. So it is time for the Amidah, and I will ask to you, to one who would like to read some part of the Amidah. I will notice to you at the right moment. And we start with Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elokei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachel, Elokei Leah, האל הגדול הגיבור והנוח העליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזורע חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה חב להושיע. If someone from you would like to read the paragraph, page 141, it starts with, you cause the wind to blow and the rain to fall. There is a candidate.
I can read it.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You cause the wind to blow and the rain to fall, the sun to shine and the dew to descend. In your love you sustain the living, in your compassion you grant us eternal life. You support the fallen and heal the sick. You free the captive and keep faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of all strength? Who is your equal, sovereign author of life and death, whose will it is that goodness shall prevail? Trusting in you, we see life beyond death. We praise you, O God, source of eternal life.
Thank you very much. ונאמנת להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים, מקדש את שמך בעולם. כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מחום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו, כבודו מלא עולם, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. ממקומך מלכנו, תופיע ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, hallelujah. From generation to generation, we will make known your greatness. To the end of time, we will proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O our God, shall never depart from our lips. We praise you, eternal one, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ahel HaKadosh. And we continue in silence. And we go on page 143. If someone would like to read both paragraphs of the page that start that those who keep the Shabbat, if you are ready to do it, if you would like to do it.
I don't mind at all.
Oh, thank you very much.
Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight, taste the joy of redemption. The people who hallow the seventh day delight in your goodness, for it is pleased to you to set this day apart, that we may cherish it above all other days, and pause to remember that the world is your creation. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. Baruch atah Adonai Makadesh HaShabbat. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha be'yir'a na'avod. We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you were the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives, which are in your hand, for our souls, which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shemecha ulechanai leodot. And we can sing together. Sim, 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 shalom tova uvracha. Sim, 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 shalom tova uvracha, chen varesed v'chachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, b'chiruni avinu kulanu kechan be'or panecha. Sim, sim, sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim, sim, sim shalom טובה וברכה, כי באור פניך נתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, תורת חיים באהבת חסד, וצדקה ובכחה וחכמים וחיים וחיים בשלום. שים, שים, שים שלום, שים שלום טובה וברכה, שים, שים, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, וטוב בעיניך לברר את עמך ישראל, ואת כל העם בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Last time. שים, שים, שים שלום, שים שלום טובה וברכה, שים, שים, שים שלום טובה וברכה. We can take another time for silent meditation. And we are page 146, and we'll sing Yaera Ratel. Yaera Ratel, Imaefi, Vehegion Libi, Lefanecha, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai, Adonai Tzuri, Begoali, Yaera Ratel, Imaefi, Vehegion Libi, Lefanecha, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai, Adonai Tzuri, Begoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Say shalom. May the Most High source of perfect peace grant peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. Say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu. Say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu. Say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Israel. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Israel. Oseh shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Israel. Yaseh shalom, shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'akol bnei Adam. And we'd like that we just read the Mi-Sheberach, and so it is the text from Debbie Friedman. I will share the text with you. Mi-Sheberach, and it is addressed to all of us who are struggling with illness, mental health issues, COVID, all illnesses. And if you want to say names aloud or in your heart, or if you want to write on the comments on Facebook, or if we will read it. Mi shebechach avotenu, mekor abracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebecha imotenu, mekor habracha lahavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. So I hope you have the time to put names if you would like to do it on Commons Facebook, for example. So I welcome to Gary, to Isaac, to Deborah, to Michelle. Thank you to be here with us. And we go to the Torah service to page 481. 481. Okay. So we are not in the synagogue. The liturgy is a bit shortened, and I'm just going to read the first paragraph on the page 481 to begin the Torah service. En kamora v'Elohim Adonai, v'hen kemaasecha malchutecha, malchut kol amim, u'melshechatecha bechol dor v'dor. There is none like you, Eternal One, among the gods people worship, and there are no deeds like yours. Your sovereignty is everlasting. Your reign endures from age to age. And we have no procession. And I will read the portion from Va-eira, and I will put the text for you. Yeah, so you will see the text in Hebrew, and it is from the chapter 7, verses 14 to 44, to 24, sorry, 24. And I can give you some context of this parasha. It's described the beginning of the events that leading up to the Exodus, and there is a sequence of events, and notably the 7 first plagues. We have 10 plagues, as you know, and the rest of the parasha will describe the 6 punishments. And we have the Nile, the blood, the frog, the insects, the wild animals, the pestilence, boils, and hail. So, for this parasha, it is the beginning of the process of liberation and the beginning of the process of the negotiation with Pharaoh, who will refuse to let the people go. And so I'm starting the reading. ויאמר אדוני אל משה, כבד לב פרעה, מעין לשלם. לך אל פרעה בבוקר, הנה יוצא המימה, וניצבת לקראתו על שפת היאור. והמטה אשר נהפך לנחש תיקח בידיך, ואמרת אליו, אדוני אלוהי העברים, שלחני אליך לאמור, שלח את עמי ויעבדוני במדבר, והנה לא שמעת על כה אמר אדוני, בזאת תדע כי אני אדוני, הנה אנוכי מכה במצה אשר בידי, על המים אשר ביאור, ונהפכו לדם, והדגה אשר ביאור תמוד באש היאור, ונלכו מצרים לשתות מים היאור. ויאמר אדוני אל משה אמור אל אהרון, קח מטך ונתן ידך על מי מצרים, על נהרותם, על יאוריהם ועל אגמיהם ועל כל מגבי מימיהם ויהודה. והיה דם בכל ארץ מצרים, ובעצים ובאבנים. ויעשו כן משה ואהרון, כאשר ציווה אדוני, ויחם במצה, וירא את המים אשר ביאור, להנה פרעה ולהנה עבדיו, ויהפכו כל המים אשר ביאור לדם, והדגה אשר ביאור מתה, ויבאש היאור, ולא יכלו מצרים לשתות מים מן היאור, ויהי הדם בכל ארץ מצרים. ויעשו כן חשתו מי מצרים בלתיהם, ויחזק לב פרעה, ולא שמע עליהם כאשר דיבר אדוני. ויפן פרעה ויבוא אל ביתו, ולא שד ליבו גם לזאת. ויחפרו כל מצרים סביבות היאור מים לשתות, כי לא יכלו לשתות ממימי היאור, וימלא 7 ימים אחרי הכות אדוני את היאור, ויאמר אדוני אל משה, בוא אל פרעה, ואמרת אליו, כה אמר אדוני, שלח את עמי ויעבדוני. So, if someone would like to read the English translation, you have the beginning here if you want. Is anyone ready to read the translation in English? Is it enough to read it, enough large to read it for you?
Say yes.
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 And the Eternal said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is stubborn. He refuses to let the people go. Go now to Pharaoh in the morning, for he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's bank to meet him. And your rod, which was turned to a serpent, take in your hand, and you shall say to him, the Eternal, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me here, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, until now you have not listened. Thus said the Eternal, in this you shall know that I am the Eternal. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in your hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that are in the river shall die, and the river shall become foul, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink water from the river. And the Eternal said to Moses, say to Aaron, take your rod and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, over their streams, over their pools, over all their ponds of water, that they may all become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so, as the Eternal commanded. He lifted up his rod, smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood.
So sorry for that, but that's...
And the fish that were in the river died, and the river became foul, and the Egyptians could not drink water from the river, and the blood was throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did in like manner with their secret arts. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he didn't listen to them, as the Eternal had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house. And neither did he put even this into his heart. And all the Egyptians dug around the river for water to drink, for they couldn't drink the water in the river. And 7 days passed after the Eternal had had dealt with the river. And the Eternal spoke to Moses, go to Pharaoh and say, thus said the Eternal, let my people go, so that they may serve me.
Yes, thank you very much for your reading, and I will say some words about the parasha, but before that, as I didn't say the blessing before reading in the Torah and blessing after reading in the Torah, we can do it. It's an opportunity to do it even if we are not in the synagogue, but I will read the text page 488 for that. God's teaching is perfect, reviving the soul. God's word is unfailing, making wise the simple. God's precepts are right, delighting the mind. God's commandments are clear, enlightening the eyes. God's doctrine is pure, enduring forever. God's guidance is true and altogether just. Now, so I will say some words. I will start from the page 1, if it's possible. I found it. Okay. We are fortunate to have rain in the UK. During the winter months, we live with skies full of rain, with water-laden sky. It is so true this year. Perhaps we forgot that we ask for rain during Sukkot. Indeed, we notice that in the Hamidah, in the second blessing named Gevorot, strength of God, we have the part on water from the sky. In the Siddur Chadash, we can read Umorid Ageshem, and you cause the rain to descend. And we also can read Umorid Atal, you cause the dew to descend. The first mention, Umorid Ageshem, is linked with Sukkot, autumn and winter. The second mention, Umorid Atal, is related to Pesach, spring and summer. When it is raining, often the sky is low and gray, and we would like sometimes to dig into the sky to open on a stretch of blue. But we appreciate the rain. We do enjoy it. In Va-eira, water becomes more than important. It is the first plague because Pharaoh refuses to let the children of Israel go. The water of the Nile turned into blood. In the Torah portion we have in the verse 24 from the chapter 7, all the Egyptians dug in the vicinity of the river to find water to drink because they could not drink the water of the river. What are doing the Egyptians? They dig, they explore, they search, they dig for water to live, to survive. I have the parallel image, digging the sky, digging the Nile. Shamayim, water above, Shamayim in Ayahor, the water of the river, the water of the Nile. Like the enslaved Hebrews, the Egyptians too need to get rid of their condition. They too are slaves, even if this status has not been officially devolved to them, but they live under the domination of a pharaoh who, by culture, is assimilated to a god. These waters of the Nile, which that water and nourish the earth, will become, in extension towards the sea, the scene of a drama for the Egyptian soldiers, when Pharaoh, once again, even after the death of his firstborn son, launches them on the pursuit of the Hebrews in order to keep them in Egypt, dead or alive, we can say. In Parashat Shemot last week, we had fire, the burning bush. In Va-eira, we have water, the Nile, the stick of Aaron that struck the water, and suddenly the river turned into blood, the vector of death. In verse 21, we read, the fish in the Nile died. The Nile stank so that the Egyptians could not drink water from the Nile. The scenario seems a bit written in advance. God informs that could happen if Pharaoh refuses to free the Hebrews. In verse 18, we have, by this you shall know that I am God. I am the eternal one. See, I shall strike the water. But Pharaoh refused to obey God's request. Both Moses and Aaron become the vector of God's power to transform water into blood. Moses and Aaron put into action God's claim. The water of the Nile blushed the Egyptians, and the Egyptians no longer have clean water to drink. Pharaoh doesn't react. He assimilated these facts to things he already knows through the prodigious tricks of the magicians. For him, nothing is remarkable, nothing that could reverse his way of seeing the world. His vision of the world does not change. He only distinguishes familiar signs. During 5 plagues, Pharaoh opposes a heavy heart, kabed. We know the root, kaf bet dalet. Then, after the 6th plague, boil, God strengthens Pharaoh's heart, Va-eira. Thus, the 7th plague happened, the hail, barab in Hebrew. But Pharaoh again hardened his heart, and at the end of Va-eira. And then in the next parasha, God strengthens again Pharaoh's heart. And alternatively, 2 roots, we have kaved, so kaved, kavod, it's heavy, and chazak, so to strength, to work for that. It is interesting to talk about the exile of speech. And I take the statement from Rabbi Yaera Ratel. He reminds us that the Zohar compares the exile in Egypt and the exile of the speech. He writes that the Zohar's notion of the exile of speech points also to a deeper failure of language, not only the presence of Lashon Hara, but the impossibility of positive speech, what we might call Lashon HaKodesh, holy language, words of hope, healing, and redemption. This failure manifests as a kind of muteness, as language that will not or cannot be spoken, exemplified by Moses' reluctance or inability to speak in God's name. And it may also manifest as a kind of deafness, redemptive language going unheard or unheeded, in other words, failing. And it continues. The Zohar's notion of the exile of speech pushes us to a deeper, more timely meaning. The Exodus narrative is not merely historic but paradigmatic, representative of an ongoing search for Lashon HaKodesh, godly language with the potential to free and to heal. So this statement from Rabbi Yaera Ratel is very meaningful. There is a lesson here to learn. It could be difficult for us to adapt and react facing new difficult situations, as we are knowing it with the pandemic situation. Here, Pharaoh cannot adapt or revise his language. He just says no, and when he tries to negotiate, he changes his mind. He does not evaluate the primordial significance of the opportunity to redeem enslaved people. And so it changed that we have the desire to dig, perhaps to have a blue sky or a part of the blue sky, or to dig when we have no more water to live. But we need the others also to make the difference, because Pharaoh seems so alone, so lonely, and he only repeats his thought as a mantra. I am like the sun, I am a god, so he refuses by all means to redeem the Hebrew people. So thank you very much for your listening. And now perhaps we have some announcements. Specifically, you remember us, Rebecca, for Monday. Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, so on Monday evening we have Deborah Barnes, the author of the book The Young Survivors, who will be talking to us about her book. I believe she's been interviewed by Sandra Weber. So that's going to be on Zoom. So you're welcome to join, and then you can ask your own questions as well. It'll also be live streamed on our usual channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So that's Monday evening at 8 o'clock.
Okay, thank you very much. And you have also a lot of information in the newsletter. I hope you receive it. In case you did not, please ask to the synagogue, and they will be very happy to send you news from Kingston Liberal Synagogue. And I would like that someone could perhaps read a poem, a Yiddish poem. It is page 223. To be a Jew means always to run to God. It is on page 223 and 24. If someone feels that
I'm happy to read it.
I'll have a go. Anyone else? This is Brian talking.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Yes.
Shall I have a go?
Yes, if you
Okay.
want. Yes, it's a pleasure.
To be a Jew means always to run to God, even when you want to flee. Means you are ready right now to hear, even if you are a skeptic. The blare of Messiah's horn. To be a Jew means you never escape from God, however much you may want to. Means you cannot stop your prayer, even when the prayers are done, even when the evens have been said.
Thank you very much. And it is a Yiddish poem by Aaron Zetlin. Thank you. Thank you. And now we go to the Kaddish, and we are page 523. 2023. We remember today, I will cite the name here. So the yard site is for Sarah Jane Lazarus, daughter of Betty Lazarus, George Frey, father of Sarah Eves, Dina Salzman, mother of Ruth Daniels, Edith Salzman, aunt of Ruth Daniels. And if you want to add names aloud or in your heart, or if you want to write them on your comments on Facebook. Thank you. Time to do it. Zirona Livracha, may their memory be a blessing for us. And we say together the Kaddish, 5-4. Itgadal v'itgadash shemech haba, ve'alma divrach yichute ve'yamlich malchute, ve'chayechon ve'yomechon ve'chaye dechol bet Israel, ba'gala v'zman kariv ve'imeru, amen. Yohe shemech haba mevachar le'alam u'lalme almaya, v'itbachar v'ishtabar, v'itpa'ar v'itchomam v'itnaseh, v'itadar v'itale v'talal shemeh lekudesha b'chichu, le'ela min kol birata v'shirata, tush berata v'nechemata, Da'amichan be'alma b'imeru, amen. Yohe shlama chaba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'akol Israel ve'imeru, amen. Ose shalom b'imromav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel ve'akol bnei adam ve'imeru, amen. And okay, and here I propose to sing this song. I will show it. I will share. We share the screen. Do you see it? So it is two verses from Psalm 34, and perhaps you know the melody. It starts like this. Mi האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים לראות טוב, נצור לשון רמך, ושפחתך מטבח מרמה, סומך ועשה טוב, בקש שלום וחטפך, מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים לראות טוב, נצור לשון חמך, ושפתך מדבר מרמה, סומך ועשה טוב, בקש שלום וחטפהו. And this melody is sung by Chava Alberstein. Perhaps you know this singer. And I think these two verses very moving. And for me, it's like what kind desire a human being than life, lovely days, and good deeds. And so we the translation, as you can see, keep my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking guile. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. So it is linked with Shabbat for every day, but in particularly for Shabbat. And it also I chose this this song because it is very moving. It is like Hallel, a praise to God, and a louange to God, and it's also for me a preparation for the next Shabbat. The next Shabbat we will talk about mental health awareness, and so it was my way to make the introduction for this specific Shabbat. And we have concluding Brarot, page 529. 529. Eternal God, grant strength to your people. Eternal God, bless your people with peace. And would you have something, some announcement or information, Greg or Rebecca, or no? Okay. And we have the Kiddush, page 566. But perhaps we will wait a moment to welcome people from Facebook or I don't know devices, or from home, simply from home, to be together.